Hi guys, welcome to Nerd Culture. I am Delaney, and we're going to be discussing comics today. Since you guys don't know me yet, I'm going to start by talking about a few of my absolute all-time favorites, okay? Just so you guys can get to know me a little bit and see what we're going to be talking about on the comic segments, okay? So the first one that I want to talk about is going to be the Love and Rockets series. It's by the Hernandez brothers, and the reason I love Love and Rockets is because they are some of the first comics that I ever got into. I learned about them actually through a professor I had at Palomar in San Marcos, right here in California, and I'm really fortunate that we got to talk about these because they completely changed the way I view comics, okay? The great thing about Love and Rockets is that they have been around since the 1980s, okay? This is the first one, the one that I'm going to be talking about, which is Music for Mechanics. It's in a series of, I want to say 20, let's see. It is in a series of, maybe more than that, maybe about 25. And it focuses on Latin American culture, which I really love. I think that it's great because it's representing a culture that I wasn't familiar with. The Hernandez brothers are Latin, and Gilbert, he's one of the brothers, talks about a group of people in the village of Palomar in Mexico. And then Jaime Hernandez, he talks about Latin American friends in LA. And so that's what the story focuses on. It's great because it has the same characters from, when they started in the mid-80s to present day. And what's really nice is as their styles develop, we also get to see the characters develop. And that's one of the beautiful things about a comic that's been around for more than 30 years, is that as they grow, we grow, and the characters grow. I highly recommend looking into them, especially if you like more underground comics or are looking for something new. The next one that I want to talk about is going to be one that's super, super near and dear to me, and that is Unlikely by Jeffrey Brown. Jeffrey Brown is great. He's super popular right now because of all of his comics about Star Wars. I'm sure you've seen them probably in Barnes & Noble or, anywhere where Star Wars memorabilia is. Jeffrey Brown is great, mostly because he does autobiographical comics and graphic novels, which are my personal favorite thing to read. The reason I like them so much is because a personal, intimate story is so much easier to get into than something that I can't relate to. Unlikely, this one right here, is the second book that he has after Clumsy, which is also really great. The reason I like this one so much is because it's really the story about how Jeffrey Brown first had his first intimate relationship. So they kind of, the tagline really for Unlikely is, or How I Lost My Virginity. And I think it's so sweet because the story isn't really about him losing his virginity. It's about him having his first, intimate sexual relationship and how that changes him as a person, as well as the type of relationships that he has. The style is really great because it's very personal. And it gives the story such a sweet, honest feeling, because he doesn't put in crazy details and things that are unnecessary. It's about the story, which I really love. That's the thing that I think about the most is the overall story for a comic, and the way that I can relate to it. And then the third one that I want to talk about is an anthology, actually. It's called Put the Book Back on the Shelf, and it is an anthology basically about the band, well, not necessarily about, but it's inspired by the band Belle and Sebastian, which are my all-time favorite band. They are super important to me. Very sentimental. I've seen them like 3 times. They're a Scottish band, And most of the dialogue in the book is their lyrics. And it's by like local artists and independent artists. And I think that's one of the really nice things, is that there are so many people who, this might be like the only published work they have. But it includes such a, something so sentimental to me, and clearly something that is so sentimental to other people. It's nice to see that other people relate to a band that I relate to, and that it's important enough to them that they made, a comic about it. And this is the first anthology, so I'm hoping that they'll do a second one. The band has been around for a pretty long time, and so I think that they're gonna start working on more, hopefully. I would never not ask for that. I could always use more to read. Thanks for joining us today. It was really great to meet you guys. Once again, I'm Delaney. This is Nerd Culture, and we'll talk to you soon.